journey to the soul. So we're back. We sorry we missed you last week. You know how sometimes life can get a little in the way, but we're back full force this week.
Yes.
With a lot of good stuff to share with you. And what we decided to do was instead of going, well, before I even begin on that, get your coffee, get your tea, get things that makes you feel comfortable. And let us first introduce ourselves. My name is Janet Luciano.
And I'm Maya Gabriel Sol.
And welcome to our live
Journey to consciousness.
Journey to consciousness. Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
So we were talking last time about sadness. And we all do feel sadness. But do we all realize how deep our sadness could go? And what does it mean? Are we even aware? So we decided, let's take that topic even a little deeper.
Yes.
To understand all the different emotions that happen with sadness. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Maya. Just tell us more about sadness.
Thank you, Janet. Yes, I think that at certain point in our lives, or even daily, sometimes certain situations kind of put us down. And sometimes we cannot identify the degree of sadness, because sadness has a degree.
Yes, it does.
And it can be very intense or not so intense, but also where does lead you? Like, because it's always leading you to see something that sometimes we are not aware of it. We kind of deny it. Oh, I'm just feeling down. But we need to really go deeper to see how is that degree of sadness, because if it is too deep, maybe it would be important for you to review what is causing you that deep sadness and how you can do something with it instead of just staying with that emotion there and not doing anything about it.
Exactly. Like, it's not even like confront it, but kind of like look at it and see it, because they do go to different levels. And see, okay, I feel sad. Are you like at a superficial level, or are you like it's deeper than this? So how do we become aware to see how deep it is?
Yes.
What are the different emotions that you feel that is an identifier that your sadness is at a second level or even a third level, and not superficial anymore?
Exactly. So we want to mention here all the different degrees of sadness and the actual deepest levels of sadness from each of those.
And they're going to surprise you.
Yes.
They're going to surprise you. Be ready for that.
And how one takes you to the other one down the road. It's like you really go down and down and down. So it's very important for you to recognize how deep it can go, how deep it can go within you, and maybe to find the root of that emotion, which is at the end what we want to do. Find the root of that deep emotion that we cannot know where it comes from. And that will have to go to another topic here, but let's talk first about these 6 emotions that come like in that level of sadness and how they can take you deeper to another level of sadness.
Now let's keep in mind, I'll be honest, I'll share a little secret. These 6 emotions that Maya's going to elaborate on, they're the second level.
They are the second level.
It even goes deeper than that.
Yes.
And in order for healing to begin, it's important to go to the third.
Yes.
So get ready for a ride, because that's what you're going to get right now.
And we want to say hi to everybody who's watching. Thank you for being here present with us. And we are so glad that you are here and we can share this information with you. We want everybody to know about this. I feel like sadness is one of those emotions that come to us, and it's hard for us to get rid of that. We kind of don't want it. We resist it. I don't want to feel that way, but it just happens. So,
or we allow it too much.
Or we allow it too much.
It's okay. I feel a little sad. But it's not that. It's not, I feel a little sad. There's a very deep reason why you even feel sad. And that's what we want to look at.
And it is not normal to feel sad.
Right.
Sometimes we normalize things when they are not supposed to be that way. Our natural state, our organic state of being is joy. which is the opposite of sadness.
Always in happiness and in fulfillment.
Yes. So if we are not feeling in joy or fulfilled, then we are tapping into something deeper that is giving us the possibility to search inside and see, why am I feeling this way or that other way. So let's talk about the first step, right, after feeling sadness, is to feel these ways. And I'm going to mention these 6, and then we can elaborate on each of those.
Okay.
So the first one is called loneliness. If you feel loneliness, right, you are into that emotion. You're tapping into sadness. I feel alone, then I feel sad, and you cannot relate it maybe, but it is. It's like if you feel lonely, there is a sort of sadness that is already knocking at the door. Hey, I'm feeling sadness, right? And if we go deeper into that emotion, we can say that loneliness can be caused by isolation, right? You might feel like no one sees you or no one is there for you, like you're helpless, that you feel abandoned as well, like you feel that state, because it's a state. It's not really that the emotion takes you, but you feel that way. It's a state of feeling that way. So when you feel lonely, then it means that you're feeling abandoned. So if you haven't seen this new way of going downstairs to review what it is down there in the basement, when you feel lonely, just think that it could be related to sadness, and that it could be related that if you go down to the basement, that you're feeling abandoned.
And that's the key. So let's go deeper. Where does that feeling abandoned, as well as feeling isolated? I mean, we wouldn't kind of relate that to sad, but yet it started by you feeling sad. So when you feel that emotion of sad, the deeper emotion is that you feel abandoned.
Yes.
And
you might isolate yourself, because actually that's what we do. We isolate ourselves to feel more that the emotion is something unconscious. Of course, we're not doing this wanting to do this. We want to get out of that emotion, but instead of doing that, we go deeper because there is something there that we must heal, and we haven't been able to recognize that. So every of those moments is a possibility for you to start reviewing, why am I feeling this way, and why am I going downstairs to this level, to this degree. And that could be connected to something else, of course. That would be, if we go deeper, right, we might be tapping into our inner child. How that sadness is connected to that is because your inner child is feeling somehow abandoned. So that we can go deeper, right? But we're not going to go so deep today. We're just going to mention those 6 emotions and how they are interconnected, each of those. So the first one is this one. Loneliness is connected to abandonment and isolation.
And think about it. Sometimes, you're with a group of friends, or they invite you out, and you say, no, it's okay. I don't want to go, whatever. I don't want to be with that group. Unconsciously, there's sadness happening, and how you're choosing to do it is to isolate by not wanting to participate in different things in life. So it's important to now go back and pay attention to that. Why don't you want to do things?
Yes, and also that's a good point to review, that sometimes we feel that others are not there for us, but maybe it's us who isolate, the ones who isolate from others, and then we feel abandoned. So it's all a perspective, and of course we are creating that. We can go deeper here, but we're not gonna go there again.
That's the tough part.
You are creating that moment.
I've always found that tough. Like, what do you mean I'm creating this? I mean, I say that's going down going way, way down, you
Yes,
know.
we're
But
going downstairs. Like this is the first way for you to see that there is something that you must heal.
yes.
Okay, I feel abandoned. I feel sad. I feel abandoned because and lonely because of this. And then the next step down, it will be your inner child.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next step down, notice that whatever happened there in that childhood is created a memory
The triggers that
that
bring,
triggers that emotion. So that brings the abandonment back even when you are an adult.
and that's why you create it.
And that's why you create it because
Because
it's
you want to
unconscious.
heal. And you
Yes.
want to heal.
Mhm. And so it appears again because you haven't healed that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you attract situations and people who abandon you. Let's put it this way, but it's not that they abandon you, but you abandon yourself.
And that's the beauty of this work. That
Mhm.
is so beautiful because, like, when you feel the sadness and you allow yourself to become more aware and you understand the isolation and the abandonment. So when you create those scenarios again, you go, and now you can start working on healing it.
Mhm.
And now you understand the patterns of why you keep repeating certain circumstances in your life,
Exactly.
certain situations in your life.
Yes. Yes, that's how it is. We need to see the whole picture to understand why am I going in that direction. If we don't know why we are going in that direction, we just get there and we get lost into the emotions. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, that's absolutely true. So that's one of them. And
Yes.
remember, there's 6, and they each have levels.
Yes.
Are you ready to indulge us with the second one?
Yes, let's talk about the second one. The second one is to feel vulnerable.
That's a big one.
Yes, yes. You feel vulnerable, then you're tapping into sadness. And if you feel vulnerable and you go down to the subconscious, right? Because this is like different degrees, as we said, different levels of sadness. So if you feel vulnerable, you might be tapping down the stairs to feel victimized. Like, I cannot do this. I don't know how to do it. And then that fear, right, makes you fragile.
Or the better one, why does everything always happen to me?
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good question. Usually, the person who feels vulnerable is like, why always these things happen to me? And I'm so fragile.
Right.
So you feel vulnerable. And then you feel sad because you don't know, you think that others are attacking you. And again, it's just your perspective that you are feeling that way, but that's not how it is. It is just your perception. You're feeling it because you haven't healed something from your childhood, and then that's why you're feeling vulnerable and you victimize yourself.
That's how you show up. That's how you're showing up. So it's another a little trigger there.
Yes, and it is important. It is important to see here that not always you communicate it, but if you think about it, it's enough to be there in that emotion.
And with the fragile, if you feel it, yeah, but the feelings are your guide. So if you're feeling that fragile, you're there.
Yes, you're there, and it's not that it's no. There's no good or bad. It is good to feel vulnerable because you have something to heal, right? That you have been able to tap into. So you feel vulnerable. You want to protect yourself, but you still feel that sadness. So it's like seeing all of these interconnections of these emotions that happen in one moment. It's important for you to. It's like a guide. It gives you a guide to see what is really happening within you. This is just the surface. It seems like it's deep, but it's not the deepest level.
Right. It's just we're still at the surface point.
At
the surface.
When you're feeling these emotions, you might think that it's deep because it hurts. It's like, oh, but it's so painful. But it's not. It's not the deepest level. It's the deepest level goes really, really down the stairs to the unconscious.
And one of the emotions that I believe a lot of us feel a lot is being victimized. Like, why am I a victim to me? Why does things happen to me? Why is this happening to me all over again?
Mm-hmm.
Why, so these why questions, and victim is a big one.
Yes.
So, it's
Yes.
important to, like, if you see that you keep repeating a pattern like that,
Mm-hmm.
then
Then stop. Then
and
stop
look,
and say, by why am I
because
feeling a victim of this? Yes, why am I feeling a victim of this? That's a very good question to do when you feel victimized.
and what about, how is this serving me? Because if
How's
it's
that
serving
serving
you,
you? It is, yeah, that's a point that I know it's a good question, but sometimes we cannot
yeah, that's true.
leave the emotion because we really don't know what's happening really in the deepest level. So the serving part is like, I want to change this, but I don't know how.
Hmm.
So you keep being the victim. But just recognizing the victimization point is saying, why am I feeling that I cannot do this, that I'm so fragile, that I'm vulnerable to others? Because it's okay to feel that way. We're not saying here that it's wrong.
And it's a great
And
awakening, right?
yeah,
It's a
and
great
yes,
awakening.
exactly. For example, if one day I feel, because I have felt
We all
vulnerable
have.
many times in my
Absolutely.
life. And the first actually starting point to change that is to surrender to what you feel.
And that's so key and so important, because
Yes.
that's the hardest thing that we have. That's the last thing we do, in all honesty. Would you
Mhm.
agree, Maya?
Yes,
That's the
definitely.
last thing. We don't surrender to it. We want to fix it. We want to cover it. And the
The
answer is,
covering, yeah, we want to cover a lot
we want
that.
to
We want to
cover it.
cover the emotion instead of surrendering to it and say, yes, I feel vulnerable. And that's why I'm feeling like victimizing, or I'm the victim of this. It's just that sort of confronting the emotion.
And saying it's okay.
It's okay that I'm feeling this way, and I'm going to find out why am I feeling this way. And then that's where when the real journey of healing starts. When we get to see the whole picture, accept it, surrender to it, and say, I cannot change it because I don't know what it is. I need to go deeper. So then we are ready to go
Embrace.
downstairs to the unconscious and really go to the other things that we were mentioning before, which is the inner childhood, and or the inner child, and also even the ancestors, or all of these other levels. There are more levels. Our psychology has so many levels, and these are just the first ones. The emotions are the first ones that can show us what we haven't been able to see.
Mhm.
And then saying that, what should I do with this, or how can I change it, is by saying, I'm feeling vulnerable, I'm feeling lonely, I'm feeling abandoned. Once you say that, it's like kind of you discover that you were trying to cover.
And I feel like you free the body and yourself, like, to
Mhm.
now, okay, this is how I feel. Let me look.
Yes.
So
Yes.
there's no resistance, right?
Yes, you don't resist it anymore. Instead, you integrate it. You say, okay, yes, I'm
Integrated.
feeling this
That
way.
is so key,
And
to
it is okay
integrate.
to feel this
Right,
way. I'm human.
absolutely.
I'm feeling this way. And it is okay. And then you can say, okay, now I accepted it. Now I need to really find out where it comes from. And that's when we go deeper to another levels that we won't be talking about today. But we want to give you the surface emotions and where they can be taking you, and then giving you this option to say, wait a second, I'm feeling this way. And it's okay to feel this way, but I need to find, why am I feeling this way, so I can change it.
Right, because the key thing here is that a natural state should be joy
Mm-hmm.
and be fulfilled,
Mm-hmm.
being in the flow.
Yes.
That's the natural. So if you feel sadness, there's something off.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, it's time to ask why.
Yes.
Immediately, it's time to look. And the fact that you feel sadness, that was your trigger point. So,
Mm-hmm.
I always call that a gift, that even though in the moment doesn't feel like it is,
Mm-hmm.
but that is the gift you're giving to yourself, because now you're saying, wait a minute, let's
Mm-hmm.
look.
Yes, yes. It is like a natural alarm
Mm-hmm.
of,
Yes.
I would call it love.
Absolutely.
because
Oh,
we
yes.
is the love the one that says, okay, you're gonna feel this pain, so you finally can return to me, which is love.
That's so beautifully said.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, that was so, yeah, that was so,
So
that's
beautifully
how it is.
said.
Yes, that's so beautiful. So let's talk about the third emotion, which is despair.
Hmm.
And you would say, no, but when you feel despair, you don't feel sadness, you feel maybe anxiety. But no, there is this sadness that you cannot handle anymore. I don't know what it is. It's
Deep. It's
despair. It's
deep.
deep
It's
because it's
really
like,
deep.
what should I do to change this sadness that I'm feeling? So you start feeling despair. And then this despair, when you cannot find the root of that sadness, it can take you to grief, to grieving. Yeah, right? So just like, I'm grieving because I cannot find the root of my sadness, and it makes me this despair because I really don't want to feel this way anymore, and I don't know how to change it. And then at certain point, that grief can take you even down, more down, because you feel powerless.
So I'll give you an example. Like with sadness for me, like I used to feel sad, I didn't think too much about it. Oh, it's okay, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized after doing a lot of this work that what I was feeling was grief.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no way I was gonna ever heal the sadness, but I would have continued living just being sad and think of it as common and it's okay
Mm-hmm.
because I hadn't looked down to the grief. So that was the sadness was the beginning layer. The
Mm-hmm.
grief was what I was covering,
Yes.
but I didn't know that. I was not
Mm-hmm.
aware.
Yes. And when we get into that griefness, we feel powerless.
Yes.
It's like it's so deep. I don't know how to change it. I don't know what it is. And that creates you despair.
Yes.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just a state that we really want to change. So that's the third one that we were wanted to talk today. So it was loneliness is the first one, vulnerable is the second one, and despair is the third one.
We're halfway there, guys.
Yes, we
Halfway
are
there.
halfway there. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them here in the comments, and we will be so happy to chat with you and to answer any questions you have. And that's what we are here for. And whatever other topics that can come to you that you would like, maybe some more deepness and understanding what it is, just let us know. We want to share what we know and how you can change that as well.
All right. We'll do
So,
the drum roll.
yes,
Number 4.
number 4 is guilty.
Hmm. That's another big one.
Yes, that's a big
That's a huge
one.
feeling guilty. Oh my God.
Yes, you feel
Oh,
sad because you feel you did something wrong that hurt someone else, maybe, then you feel guilt.
or even the fact that you set boundaries for
Mhm.
something that will help you, you feel guilt.
Yes, even that can make you feel guilty because you feel like you're not being good enough for others or to help others. And then you want to overcome your own limits to please others when it's not gonna do well for you, it's not gonna serve you. But if you do stand on your healthy boundaries and you say no to someone else, I cannot help you today because I'm busy, or you don't even have to justify yourself. Just the fact of saying this is my limit and respecting your own limits can make you feel guilty.
Yeah, that's a part of guilty that we want to satisfy everybody. We don't want to say the word no, and when we do, then we feel guilty.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
so there comes the cycle.
Yes, and when you feel so guilty, right? And guilty can go even deeper in many other
Many
directions,
ways, many
right? Sometimes
ways.
if we talk about ancestors, for example, transgenerational, we unconsciously, because all of these things happen unconsciously, unconsciously, we don't want to do it better than our parents, for example, in life. So that's the point that when we when we are doing it better, we feel guilty of doing that. And oh, but if my parents couldn't do it and I'm doing it, I feel bad, so I feel guilty. So those guilt emotions can come from different directions. You need to find which ones are the ones that you are connecting when you feel guilt, right?
And something as simple as I just want to do it the way my parents did it. You know, you keep doing things the way you used to, the way you grew up, the way you saw it being done. So when you, like what she said, when you change it, yeah, there's a whole bunch of guilt around it. That's a toughy one.
Yes. So when you feel guilt and you go downstairs, right? Because it's like going downstairs. If you feel that guilt, it can take you to feel ashamed
And even remorseful.
and remorseful. Yes.
That was a new one for me, like remorseful. Yep, remorseful.
Yes.
You know, that's a deep, deep feeling.
Yes. That actually, you kind of, when you feel that, you kind of punish yourself.
Right. It's a way of punishing
It's
yourself.
a way of punishing yourself and feeling like it's my guilt, I'm guilty, it's my fault, it's my fault, and I deserve punishment.
What is happening?
What is happening?
And what's interesting about that is that when you feel that, then you keep creating that.
You keep creating that in your life. So deserving comes in place here. And so that's when you don't feel like you deserve, because that guilt doesn't make you feel like you deserve nothing from others.
That's where you come with the unworthiness.
I'm
not worthy of this. It's all come from that remorsefulness, that self-punishment.
Yes. That's a lot, right? We can go deeper and deeper and deeper and find many other ways.
I'm like, let me take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
So yes, wow, that's
a deep one.
That's a deep one.
That's
yes,
a deep one.
Definitely.
That stirred a lot of emotions in me.
Yeah. So observe your life, and when you feel that you don't deserve things, why are you feeling that way? Maybe you are feeling guilty and you haven't been able to recognize that. That is guilt, what you're feeling. And you feel maybe ashamed of something, or remorseful to the point of feeling that you don't deserve, that you need to be punished.
And could they even self-sabotage themselves
It's a self-sabotage. Definitely it is self way of sabotaging yourself when you feel that you don't deserve. Right? That's how it works.
Okay.
We have all of these labyrinths in our minds, right? And we need to know all of this so we can start identifying why we are feeling one way or another.
That's what's going to bring you the awareness and the understanding of why things happen in your life.
Yes, self-knowledge is the most important gift you should give yourself, because otherwise you're going to be lost in these type of emotions.
What did they say? The best thing to do is to know yourself, and that's how these emotions help you know yourself.
Yes, knowing yourself is really key in a way of change, in that way to change that reality of that state of those emotions that you come to you all the time and you don't know how to change it, or what to do with that.
Or that you're living them. You know, you're living sadness. You're living remorseful. You're living ashamed. You know, so, you know, just knowing that brings you the awareness that you need to now go deeper and start that beautiful healing process.
Yes.
That sometimes does come with some pain. We're not going to say that it doesn't.
Yes, it does. We have all of these memories we must heal. And everything pretty much is based on that. You know, our DNA is carrying some information from our ancestors that we are still feeling. So we might feel guilt that is not even our guilt. Maybe something happened in the past and we are carrying that guilt. See how deep it can go? It can go really deep if we talk about this subject.
And I will admit, I find that fascinating.
Yes.
And I know I have said that to myself sometimes when I have different emotions. I said, this is not even mine. And That's a good question.
Mhm.
Because and then you go, well, then who does it belong to?
Yes, who
You
does it
figure-
belong to? Then you can start like looking to the past and see who am I identifying with.
That's the key. That's right.
Who, yes, because you might be identifying with an ancestor who also felt guilt because he or she wasn't good enough because whatever happened in that situation that happened in the past. And someone else down the road needs to heal that because it wasn't healed before. And so that guilt is still pulsing in the information that any of the descendants could be receiving, and it could be you.
Mhm.
So we don't know if that guilt is really yours or if it comes from the past. There is a lot of information that we have been carrying from the transgenerational that can make us feel this sadness, loneliness, vulnerable, despair, and guilt.
Those are
Yes.
four big ones. And a lot of
Yes.
people, we walk around with that. We really do.
Mhm.
And we just cover it under sadness.
Yes. So we are here to uncover. And so we don't have to be covering that anymore, but to uncover and say, okay, let's put the cards on the table and see which one of these do I feel when I feel sad.
I like to say, let's lift up the veil.
Yes, let's
take
lift
a
up
look.
the veil. Exactly. That's how it is. Okay, ready for the fifth one?
Drum rolls. We're ready.
So the fifth emotion you can feel when you feel sad is depressed.
Mhm.
Depressed is a very common one. Oh, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling depressed. And people use that word often, the down. I'm just feeling down.
I'm a little depressed
I'm a
today.
little, yeah, exactly. But they don't know that what they are feeling is emptiness.
Another big one.
Yes, yes. When you
Wow.
feel depressed, you feel empty. This emptiness, I don't know where it comes from, but I don't know how to fulfill my canister of love. And then you feel like you're hopeless. It's like there's nothing of that love for me. I cannot find it anywhere else. So it's a sort of like, it's like I feel hopeless, and that emptiness is not gonna go away, and so that makes you depressed and takes you down the road and can really take you to actions that like suicide, for example. That those big
Right.
depressions can go down the road and take you to actions that because can come the despair also. You know how they are all interconnected. So
and
if
you feel
feel
inferior,
Mhm.
right? You feel
inferior, you
inferior.
feel like you're not really
You're not
like,
worthy.
worthy.
You know, what does it matter if I'm here? That's when all those mind games go into the mind from all those different emotions and feelings that you feeling
Yes,
through depressed. And depressed is very common nowadays.
definitely.
Why is depressed so common nowadays?
Mhm.
Remember, true nature is joy.
Yes. And
So-
well, let's give you a little bit more of that because
Okay.
I like that. I like giving you one extra.
She likes
tip.
teasing
Yes,
us.
yes.
Teasing
I'm
us.
gonna give you another tip here. Yes. When we are feeling depressed, mostly there is a memory that is connected to your mother that you haven't been able to heal. What could it be?
Right?
Yes.
Tell us, Maya.
Yes, there is something because usually when you're depressed, it's that you cannot take action. You don't know how to leave that state. It's like it traps you. You feel trapped. And usually the one who don't allow you to leave is the mother. So there's something that happened between your mother and you, maybe when you were a child, that you haven't been able to overcome. You feel this emptiness, this lack of connection with mom. It could be there are different situations that happen that the love was interrupted, so you are disconnected, and you can, if you don't have that connection again with love, which is mom, then you cannot fulfill that canister of love. So that emptiness is gonna stay there, and then you cannot do anything if you don't have that, because that love is connected to life.
And do people keep looking for other people to satisfy that emptiness?
Yes, sometimes they think that others can fulfill
Right.
that emptiness, that others can give you that affection.
And who's the only one that can do that?
Yourself. Yourself. But we need to go really deep into healing this to be able to find the true love that is within you.
And remember, a lot of times we're not even aware of this. Always, like I always say, be gentle with yourself. This is a lot of powerful information coming to you today that you might say, oh my God, okay, let me pay attention. But the gift is at least, to accept and then surrender.
Yes, surrender. And these are the tips. The very first steps that we invite you to take is to say, I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling empty.
And those are very uncomfortable feelings.
Yes, they
We
are.
don't like telling people I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling empty, because what will people think?
No, not only that, but people is like, oh, but why are you feeling down? Oh,
but you have everything.
Yeah, no.
Why you feel you have a great
and
this,
you have
a great this, a great that,
and they cannot understand what you're feeling because each of us are carrying our own cross, as we say in Spanish. I don't know if you have that in English, that expression. You're carrying your own cross,
your own burden, your own cross,
your own burden. So you can really cannot know what the other person is feeling. Because as for you, if I tap here like you might feel like, oh, that was nothing. But if I do this to someone that is very vulnerable, then you might feel very hurt by me. See, so it is like that. At the levels of deepness with any emotion is individual. It's your own way of perceiving that is going to make you feel this emotion very intense or not so intense. Yes, that's how it is. So let's go.
The last one.
The last one. So the last one is called hurt.
So simple, right? Feeling hurt.
Feeling hurt.
But yes, so profound and deep.
Yes, because it's, oh, I feel hurt because you said this or you did this to me, because that's the first thing that people tend to say. Oh, because that person did that to me, then I feel hurt.
Or they don't say anything, they hold it in. They hold that hurt in.
Yes, or they hold it, but still the perception is unconscious.
Right.
Because no one did anything to you. It is your own perception of feeling that they did that to you. And then you feel hurt, right? But something, if we speak about another level of deepness, speaking of hurt, is to feel disappointed.
That's
because it is a perception. Since it is a perception, then you're disappointed because the other person hurt me. It's a big disappointing. It's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Expectations come in place here, right? It's like, I wasn't expecting that from that person that I gave so much or that I loved so much. And then that comes, and then it's just a deep disappointment or embarrassed. You also can feel like somehow it's embarrassing when you hide it pretty much. It's like, I feel hurt because or the hurt feeling comes when you feel
like you shouldn't feel like that. That's why you feel embarrassed.
Yes.
But yet they were hurt. You were hurt.
Yes. It's like it was embarrassing.
Right, yeah. And I think you feel embarrassed because you feel like you shouldn't feel hurt. But we're here to say that if they hurt you, it's okay for you to feel the hurt.
Exactly. So this is something. It's very common.
It is too common. I feel too common.
Every day, depending on your perceptions of the information the other one gives you, the transaction the other one throws at you, is like, oh, but that hurt me. Right? So that we need to start reviewing, because it takes us to a sadness state. It's like, oh, that hurt, that makes me feel sad. And then I'm disappointed because I wasn't expecting that. So it's just to see how they are so interconnected, and that at this moment, what you can do is to say, but that's my perception. Why am I feeling hurt by this person and disappointed, and it makes me feel sad? So Again, that can go deeper, like down the stairs. We go to a different levels on when we want to find out where those emotions are, connected to, because usually they are connected to memories from your childhood. Most of them, or all of them, let's say all of them are connected to memories from your childhood or from your ancestors. Those two.
Yeah, like that word perception, like it's how we perceive
Mhm.
things.
How we
Okay.
perceive things, exactly.
And how we perceive what happened to us.
Yes, exactly. So that's what pretty much we wanted to share today. And we're gonna just repeat all the 6 emotions and the third degree of those emotions, so you can maybe
We'll go level 1.
keep them in your mind.
Right.
But so when you are feeling sad,
That's level 1.
yes,
Now level 2.
exactly. So let's say if you feel lonely, and you feel, of course, it's like a state of everything of these 6 words that I'm going to mention, which are emotions, are connected to sadness, right? So if you are feeling lonely, maybe you are feeling abandoned, and that's why you're feeling sadness.
Okay.
So those 3 are interconnected. The
Okay.
second one is that if you're feeling vulnerable, right, then you somehow feel fragile, or you victimize yourself, and it makes you feel sad that you cannot, that you feel vulnerable.
Mhm.
And again, we are saying that it is okay to feel all of these emotions. Are actually is a good point when you can say, I'm feeling this way.
Mhm.
So it's very good that you can accept it, accept your emotion in the moment and say, yes, I'm feeling this way.
Especially the fragile, because I will admit I don't like feeling fragile.
No one likes feeling free. You're like, oh, it's like, oh my God, I need help. And then you feel like a victim, right?
Mhm.
So then when you cannot live from that state, then you feel sad. It's like, but I cannot change that. I need help.
Right.
So you become dependable, and it can take you to other levels we're not going to mention today, but I just want you to have this interconnection of emotions, right? So the third one is when you feel despair. You feel despair because you don't know how to change what you're feeling. Then it can take you to grief. And it is a state of powerless, because it's like, oh my God, I cannot change what I'm feeling. And it makes you it's desperate. That is a state of desperation, of not knowing how to change what you're feeling, or you're feeling this sadness, and then you don't know how to change it.
Because part of it is you're probably not even understanding what's happening too. You're not aware.
Exactly.
So there's with the powerless come like, what?
And the fourth one again is guilty, right? So if you're feeling guilt, then you're feeling remorseful, right? Something is like, I feel like I did something wrong. I must be punished because of what I did, right? And then that makes me sad. So your sadness could be connected to that guilt that makes you feel like you don't deserve, for example. So that was the fourth one, right?
The fourth.
The fifth, again, is feeling depressed. So if you're feeling depressed, there is an emptiness you need to review and see where it comes from, where that emptiness comes from. And that makes you, of course, feel sad. I feel this sadness. I don't know how to fulfill this emptiness. And the sixth one is called hurt. So if I'm feeling hurt, I feel disappointed, but it also makes me sad.
You never look at that word sad again the same way. After that, you will never look at the moment you feel sad. You're like, oh, antennas go up.
Yes.
And you'll stop paying attention.
And start paying attention, and remember that it's your possibility to overcome this emotion, to find the root cause of that emotion that is making you feel that way. And it's going to be your guide to find that root, that memory that you have been able to heal from your childhood again or from your ancestors. Those are the two possible directions that you can look at after you're feeling this way or the other. And this is the best moment to dive into your unconsciousness to be able to find what that memory was and what happened back there, back then, and how I can change it. Which, of course, we want to recommend here family and systemic constellations, which is the tool that that I know that it really takes you there to confront that moment and to be able to reconcile the past.
And through that reconciliation and integration, then you are liberated. You
Exactly.
heal, and at the end, that's what you want. And then you start living the life that you're supposed to be living, of joy,
Yes.
fulfillment,
Yes.
happiness. So
One
one of those things, right? So
the best part of everything that we shared today is that just to say that I have been in all of those states of emotions,
and we do go
all
in
of
and
them.
out of them.
Yes,
We
and
do go in and out of them.
and that also that it is important now that you heard this information that first of all to say it's part of humanity, part of what we came to heal, and to surrender to that and say, okay, and now I know what I'm supposed to be looking at and doing something about it so I can change that. And that is a gift. It is a blessing when you feel down or sad or depressed. It is your best opportunity to find out what memory, is there pulsing within you that you must review, identify, recognize, integrate, liberate, transform, transcend, whatever it is that you need to do with this memory in order for that emotion not to tap into you and for you not to know what it is. Because once you get to identify these memories that are connected to these emotions, you can really confront it and say, oh, I felt abandoned when my mother left to work and I felt like she wouldn't come back. So I felt abandoned. And that's why every time someone leaves, I feel like abandoned and sadness. It's simple. It's just as simple as that. We need to just find the thread that emotion is connected to.
Absolutely. And if you want some little guidance or some support, or even continue more awareness, you can come and join us at the tribe.
Yes, we do. We have an online tribe.
Where we go even deeper into all this stuff.
Yes.
And we do sometimes Maya will do a mini group constellation on that. And sometimes we'll pick a lucky winner.
Yes, we pick one from the participants and we do a constellation, and you can come and say, I'm feeling guilt, or I feel emptiness and I want to know where it comes from. And if that's your moment, right, maybe you will be the one that will be constellating that day, and then you can understand better by living the experience. Because sometimes we can talk here about what family constellations are, but until you don't experience it, you really won't be able to understand it. That's all I can say. No, not even how much I try to explain it. It is an experience that you feel. You feel the change in the moment, and you feel that fulfillment, and you feel that, oh, that understanding, that awareness, oh, that's what it was.
And you will get an aha moment.
And then you get that aha, okay. And then you can also transcend it with love and understanding and acceptance. It's like, it is a lot, it facilitates your life when you do this. Definitely it changes your way of seeing things. And you don't, you will, because see, the thing is that when you haven't been able to see where these emotions come from, more situations of the same nature come in the scene for you to find out what it is, or why are you attracting the same sort of situations that make you feel that way.
Because remember, these emotions want to be seen.
Yes, these emotions
want to be seen, so they
want to be seen. That's all they want.
They will do whatever they need to do so that you can see them.
They are your friends.
They are
the friends that love you. Or as I said before, it is the love itself that is showing in that way for you to return to love.
which is so beautiful.
Yes, so
Good.
that's
That
what
is
it is.
beautiful.
Yes.
So when is our next try? When is the next one?
Tomorrow at 7:30.
So there you go.
We
You have
are
an
meeting
experience.
tomorrow at 7:30. We do it through Zoom. And then if you are interested, I am going to leave you
The
the
link.
link here. I will do it soon after we finish this live. I will add the link so you can join us and you can register, and I will see you tomorrow, hopefully.
And if you resonated with this, definitely come and join us. And if you know anybody else that will resonate with this, definitely invite us to experience the experience as well.
Yes.
We want to bring this up to the world.
Yes.
Absolutely to the world.
Yes. And also, if you feel that you need more help, that you really want to go deep, you can also, and you decide that you want to constellate, then you can find me in my Ariel Soul or leave me a text here. I do one-on-one sessions online and on site. All right, Janet, something else you want to share? Or should we just say, sending you love and hugs?
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. We love talking about this and just helping people understand everything when it comes to emotions. And what are we going to talk about next week? Do you want to tease them a little bit?
Another emotion.
And there's plenty of them.
What about anger? Anger is one that we all should know about it and how deep it can go and those degrees of angerness, because it's not just like I feel angry, but it has different levels and different directions and
we want
different.
to we want to show that these emotions, even though they're classified, we see them as bad, they're really not.
No,
they're your gift. They're good.
Yes. None of them is bad. None of
bad.
them are bad. Actually, are your opportunity and your blessing to change something that you are looking to heal yourself. Thank you, Alisa is there. Thank you so much. Sending all of these hearts. Sending you love too.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
So please join us tomorrow, okay? And please invite people. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And please share this information, because maybe someone needs to know these levels of degrees of sadness, and they don't understand the root cause of why they are feeling that way.
And so that people don't feel like that they're alone on this, because we're not. We all have all these feelings.
We all do. We all go through
including us.
Yes, including me too. Exactly.
Yeah, we all have.
Yes. The important part is to have the information first and say, okay, I didn't see it that way, and to say it is okay to feel that way, because it's my first step on changing that.
So now, the next time you feel depressed, go, yay!
Yes, I'm feeling depressed. Okay, let's see. Let me look at it and see what is telling me. Yes. That's all we need. What is that telling me? And that can take you to really heal that depression. It's your best opportunity, as I said before.
And remember to surrender. Okay, surrender. Just accept it.
Yes, Alisa, we are gonna keep this video in. It's gonna stay here in my channel here in Instagram, and also in YouTube. It's in YouTube, and it's also going to be in Facebook. So this video is there for you to share, for you to watch it all over again and say, oh, okay.
Definitely.
That's what it. Or when you say, oh, she said something about that emotion, I don't remember. The video is here for you to see it all over again and
share with your friends. Share with your friends as well.
And also to go within you and say, okay, let me see. Let me define the emotion, because sometimes we need to define what it is. That's a very important part, to say, am I feeling grief, powerless,
right,
the victim of this, isolated, abandoned? What is it that is making me feel sad, and what other emotions are connected to? And then you can go and go deeper when you feel ready to go deeper.
And start your discovery of self.
Yes. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, we send you
the rest of your evening.
Lots of love and blessings, and have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week.
Tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow.
Or tomorrow in the tribe.
In the tribe to get that support and continue
Yes.
learning and going deeper.
Yes, yes,
This
yes.
is the gift to self. Always remember, this is your gift to yourself.
Yes,
to know yourself.
Yes. Thank you, Janice, for being here too.
No, you're welcome.
And
I
thank you,
enjoy
everyone that was there, that is there.
Mhm.
We are doing this with the intention for others to start seeing even your emotions from different perspectives, different angles of the picture that maybe you haven't been able to see, and that are are important for you to see it this way. Just don't stay with what maybe the professional tells you that you're feeling sad and that's called depression, take this medicine. No, there are other ways to heal that are that go straight to the root, and you can change it, and then you won't need medicine.
Right.
You just this is a medicine, actually. This is a good medicine. This is the first step of taking the medicine to change the way you are feeling.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well,
All
thank
right.
you so much. Thank you so much.
I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Ok, ese es uno y aquí.